everyone, it's Catherine with Ultra Health and Wellness Coaching. I am doing a little video on beating the winter blues. These are some tips and tricks that I have learned throughout my years because I definitely struggle with the winter blues. And it's getting darker and colder in most areas. So use these tips to help you beat them. I do want to mention if you are like really struggling with depression, no shame in that. Please, please, please seek help from a licensed professional. That's what they're there for. And yeah, be sure to see them. All right, thanks for joining and stay tuned for the tips. So, this is where we run into trouble. There's decreased daylight because our days are shorter. Most of the areas are cold. We don't want to go outside. So, we're not going outside. We're not getting our vitamin D. And so this also leads us to where we don't exercise enough because it's cold or dark. And also our schedules get really busy, it seems like, in the fall and winter time. If you're a parent, your kids are a lot of times in activities during this time. You have holiday stress also, which like crams up your schedule even more. And then also the holiday stress, you can also have questionable food choices, which all makes a area to where you're going to start to feel the increase of the winter blues because of the dark. Our body uses the vitamin D that comes from the sunlight, and it helps with the hormone serotonin and keeps everything straight. Exercise is a great medication that you don't even have to buy. You can just go and do, and it helps like relieve stress, and it helps you sleep better, which decreased sleep also totally disrupts your cycle with being able to like have better moods. The questionable food choices, if you're getting into like what we see around the holiday times of a lot of sweets and fatty foods, sweet and fat mixed together, then your gut biome is going to be really out of whack. And what happens when your gut biome gets out of whack, we have these things called neurotransmitters. And the neurotransmitters, they are chemicals in our brain that helps control our mood. A lot of them like to hang out in our gut. So if our gut biome is off, it's going to play with our mind in not such a great way. Think about when you go on a rampage of eating really poorly, say right around Christmas time. I know from experience, like I have been like, I am so ready for this holiday to be over with because my poor body is crying inside right now because I felt so sluggish and drained. And like, I just mentally, I felt sluggish and drained. So, those are all things that accumulate during time. And, we have about a 2-month period of just constant like this. And so that is where we start to run into some trouble with some winter blues. However, there is some really good news that we can do small little things each day to make the winter blues a lot more bearable. So hang tight. So I touched on a few slides back ago about the decrease in sunlight. We get decreased vitamin D. The decrease in vitamin D messes with our like serotonin, which helps with like all the is a neurotransmitter that helps with feeling good. So one thing that I recommend and one thing that I try to do is to go outside during the day, just to walk around for just a few minutes, just to get some of that natural sunlight in. It's super helpful, and like I said, it doesn't take that long. Plus, if it's really cold, you don't want to be out there that long either, but your eyes are able to get that natural sunlight, and that also helps. If you can't get outside that often, I have this that I use every morning. It's a sunlight. It plugs in. I sit there and I go for 20 minutes. That's my thing. But you can do as like little as 10. I like 20. During this 20 minutes, what I do is I enjoy my cup of coffee. and I journal, because journaling is also one of those really good things that you can do no matter what. I actually recommend journaling, and I'm going to be totally honest with you. When I first started journaling, and before I even started journaling, I was like, I rolled my eyes at this, right? Because I was like, I'm not a journaler. Like, I just don't want to write down about my feelings and what my thoughts are. Because I thought, like, you had to go back and like read, and that made me feel like really weird, even though it was like my own thoughts. But that also had to do with not wanting to validate my own feelings, which is a whole nother episode. But journaling, like, you don't have to go back and read it. The studies have proven, like, if you take what you're thinking and you write it down, especially if you're stressed, it helps you tremendously to get over your stress. So be journaling while I'm doing my sun lamp. It's a morning ritual that I go by every day. After I do that, then what I do is I meditate. And meditation was another one of those things where I was like, I'm not a meditator, like, because I would sit there and I'd be like, okay, don't think, don't think, don't think, don't think. And what does your like mind do? It's like monkey brain, like when you're like trying not to think, you know? And so I was like, this meditation thing is horrible. I can't do it. There's no way. So what I did was I like to use the Insight Timer. It along with everything else you can upgrade, but the very basic one is totally free. That's what I use. And they have some really good guided meditations that are as little as 2 minutes. And, you know, you just like listen to the meditation and do what they tell you to do. And that's what really helped me get into the meditation mindset. And then I was able to not use the guided ones, but it's a very good centering thing when you're feeling all out of whack. So really encourage you to check it out. You can probably find more on YouTube, but that's just where I go, because honestly, I like a lot of the meditation music that they have there. And I also like the little tracker that they use for how many days straight, because now I'm above 500 and I started with a goal of 90 days straight. Incorporating that, keeping that exercise will help you with it throughout, the winter months. Dress to your comfort level. Be safe about it, because if it's, like wind chill below X amount of temperature, it's not going to be that safe for you to be out there. It's not going to be that healthy for you to be out there, honestly. But do what you can. There's lots, like I said, there's lots of like YouTube videos that from people that are really good, from like trained professionals that won't get you hurt. And because like I said, you get so many like endorphins, and it's a good stress relief, and it helps with sleep. Sleep is so important. Like, I think probably out of the things that we totally throw to the side and count as not important, is probably sleep and eating well. Sleep, like I said, is so important. If you ever notice, like, the days that you feel the most on edge, most often you had a really crummy night's sleep. All your hormones are out of whack, so get enough sleep. So, like I said a few slides back, our gut biome hosts a lot of the neurotransmitters, and like there's been like some studies that have shown that poor food choices lead to poor sleep. There's a lot more that needs to go on with those about that. But it was one study that did show like people who ate crappy slept really bad. So be careful on what you eat. Remember, like, what we put in our body is like what we're using for nourishment. And we wouldn't be putting funky gas in our car to make it go. So we should be putting high quality stuff in our body. And I'm not saying that you have to buy like totally organic. They're great and stuff, but do what you can. Like, if buy the quick sell meat if that's all you can afford. Hey, that's still great. I shop at the quick sell meat. But don't be putting like all these ultra processed foods that are like high in like sugar and fatty seed oils and saltiness. Think about what you're putting in your body. You don't want to be putting a bunch of chemicals in your body. One of the things I have to remember the most to do during the winter months is being social. Like there's so many parties and so many get-togethers, but being an introvert, like I naturally want to be like, nope, I'm gonna go home, I'm gonna be in my pajamas, I'm gonna pet my dog, I'm just gonna chill at home. However, we are pack animals and we do get some recharge from being around others. We're social, it's important for us. We just have to find that balance between recharging socially and then like recharging alone, and finding that good balance between them. Hey, so if you like what you hear, be sure to follow me. Facebook, Ultra Health and Wellness, Instagram at Ultra Health and Wellness. You can subscribe to my YouTube channel, Ultra Health and Wellness. And also, wherever you get your podcast from, subscribe. It's Ultra Health and Wellness Coaching Podcast. Any questions, feel free to email me at oneultracoach@gmail.com. I also do a totally free 30-minute discovery session for health coaching. So be sure to take advantage of that if you haven't already. Thanks.